A security guard is patrolling Brickton Studios when he suddenly hears a strange noise echoing through the lot. He tries to locate where it is coming from, but a black cat suddenly appears in front of him. At first he assumes the sound belongs to the cat, completely unaware that a monster is standing right behind him. Meanwhile, Mystery Inc. is busy solving the mystery of a sea creature haunting a lighthouse. Shaggy complains that he and Scooby-Doo are always the ones who have to act as bait, and he insists that if it were not for Scooby Snacks, neither of them would ever agree to do it. Tired of constantly being lured into danger, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy even consider giving up Scooby Snacks altogether, believing that without them Mystery Inc. would no longer be able to persuade them. Just as they finish discussing this idea, a door suddenly slams shut. Shaggy is about to check what is happening when he comes face to face with the monster. The moment Scooby-Doo and Shaggy see it, they immediately run for their lives. Before long they reach the top of the lighthouse, only to realize that there is nowhere left to escape. With the monster right behind them, they have no choice but to swing down using a rope. Just when they think they are finally safe aboard a small motorboat, the monster suddenly reappears at the stern. At the same time, Velma, Fred, and Daphne have already prepared a trap and quickly set it up in hopes of capturing the creature. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are in complete panic as the monster closes in on them. The motorboat crashes into a rock and shatters, sending both of them flying straight into the trap instead of the monster. Just when it seems that everything has failed, a piece of the trap unexpectedly falls and lands directly on the monster, successfully pinning it down. When they remove the mask to reveal the culprit, they discover that it is the lighthouse keeper. However, Velma quickly notices that there is another mask underneath and removes it as well. She is about to explain the reason behind the culprit's actions when Shaggy interrupts her and blurts out the explanation himself. It turns out that he is extremely hungry and simply wants to wrap up the case as quickly as possible so he can go eat. Afterward, Mystery Inc. heads to a diner in the city. The moment the mystery machine comes to a stop, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy rush straight inside without hesitation. They immediately begin devouring all the hamburgers placed in front of them. What they do not realize is that those burgers are not for sale but are prepared for an eating contest. Seeing how incredibly fast Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are eating, the other contestants lose confidence and give up. As a result, the two of them unintentionally become champions. The owner happily announces that the grand prize includes a free trip to Hollywood. Mystery Inc. is excited by the reward, so they set off the very next morning. Soon they arrive at Brickton Studios and are given a tour. Before falling into its current state of decline, it used to be a famous horror film studio. There they meet Junior, who is an employee of the studio. He tells Mystery Inc. that someone will take care of their vehicle once they head inside. However, they quickly realize that Junior himself is acting as the gatekeeper, the parking attendant, and even the tour guide all at once. Mystery Inc. is curious, so they ask why he is handling so many responsibilities. Junior explains that the studio has been going through difficult times financially. Suddenly another voice interrupts and adds that Junior also works as an errand boy. The voice belongs to Chet Brickton, who is the manager of Brickton Studios. And this person is Fink, another guest who is also enjoying a free tour just like Mystery Inc. Junior then leads everyone to the Wild West film set, where he enthusiastically demonstrates his talent by playing the roles of two skilled gunfighters by himself. His ability to switch characters impresses everyone. Next, they visit the set of the Grimsley Mansion, where many of Brickton Studios' iconic monsters were created, including the famous Grimsley zombie. Finally, they enter the warehouse, which serves as a filming location. While Junior is introducing the area, they suddenly hear the loud neighing of a horse, and the electric cart they are riding abruptly stops. Junior tries to restart it, but it refuses to respond. The sound of the horse grows louder and louder, frightening Fink so much that he quickly looks for a way out of the warehouse. The moment he leaves, a headless horseman appears. In a tense moment, Daphne slams her hand onto the ignition button. Fortunately, the cart roars back to life. Mystery Inc. and Junior immediately attempt to escape from the headless horseman. Although they manage to drive outside, he continues chasing them relentlessly. Seeing that the situation is getting worse, Fred tells Junior to drive closer to a stack of wooden crates. He plans to use them to block the headless horseman's path, but the rider skillfully dodges the obstacle. Realizing that this strategy does not work, Fred quickly comes up with another plan. He instructs Junior to turn the cart around and lure the headless horseman back along the previous route, intending to use the bright studio lights to shine directly into his eyes and force him to retreat. Meanwhile, at Chet's office, he is trying to sell Brickton Studios to Fink, but Fink says the price is too high and storms out. The truth is that Brickton Studios has gone bankrupt, which is why Chet is desperate to sell it before finishing his final film. Junior, after hearing everything, urges Chet to stop producing romantic comedies and return to horror films like he used to make. But Chet insists that times have changed and no one cares about horror anymore. Junior strongly disagrees, and in his anger, he loses control of his emotions and leaves. Later, Chet takes Mystery Inc. to explore the origins of Brickton Studios, once famous for films such as The Dark Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, The Zombie's Child, and The Headless Horseman's Grandson. The mastermind behind these classics is Boris Karnak, the man known as the one with 999 different faces. But ever since Boris Karnak passed away, Chet has not been able to produce another successful film. Drilla claims that Boris Karnak is so extraordinary that after his death, his desire to become the very monsters he created causes his spirit to return and possess them, although Chet strongly denies this theory. Drilla exposes the fact that he has installed cameras all over Brickton Studios. As soon as Drilla leaves, Mystery Inc. offers to investigate the mystery and Chet agrees. He then asks Junior to guide them to the set, where they are currently working on a romantic comedy. Junior dismisses it as nothing more than an instant noodle film. Yet Daphne remains incredibly excited. Meanwhile, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy discover the love of their lives, which is a table overflowing with food. Before Junior can warn them that it is only for the actors, the two rush straight toward it. Suddenly, the Headless Horseman appears on set, riding his frenzied horse, and terrifies everyone into fleeing. Even in the chaos, Daphne stays optimistic and keeps filming, while Scooby-Doo and Shaggy hurry to save the food. When the Headless Horseman returns, Fred uses a fire extinguisher to drive him away. Chet arrives shortly after, only to find that the director and actors are ready to quit. Facing bankruptcy and the possibility of selling Brickton Studios at a loss, he has little choice when Mystery Inc. offers to help. They quickly divide the roles. Velma handles the camera. Fred directs, but they still need a truly talented actor. Daphne thinks Chet means her, yet he unexpectedly chooses Shaggy instead. Shaggy is about to refuse, but when Chet offers to pay him in food, he immediately agrees. Just when Daphne believes she has lost her chance, Chet adds that they also need a beautiful female lead. Her face lights up only for Chet to reveal that he means Drilla. Seeing Daphne's disappointment, Fred promises to find another role for her. The team gets to work, while the others prepare the set. Drilla and Daphne go to have their hair done, though none of the styles feel right. Filming begins once everything is ready. At first things go smoothly, but Daphne's overexcitement keeps ruining the shots again and again. After multiple failed takes, Fred has no choice but to ask her to step outside, just as Velma starts recording. A scream echoes and a mummy suddenly appears, leaping down and smashing everything in sight to destroy the set. Watching all his hard work crumble breaks Fred's heart, but Velma urges him to run before the mummy catches them. At that moment, Fink walks in from outside, asking what is going on, and soon they are all fleeing together. Elsewhere, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are still busy rescuing the food, insisting they cannot work without it. Meanwhile, Drilla brings Daphne into her dressing room. Surrounded by its elegance, Daphne confesses that she wants to become an actress too. Drilla offers to help her, starting with practicing catwalk steps while balancing books on her head, then learning how to maintain poise and presence. Though she stumbles many times, Drilla keeps encouraging her to try again. Later, Velma and Fred return to the set, surprised to discover that the mummy has not damaged the camera. Next, Velma and Fred go outside to search for clues and soon discover footprints leading straight to Chet's office. That very morning they see Chet and Fink arguing like fire and water, yet now the two are speaking calmly as if nothing has happened. That contradiction sparks an idea in Fred's mind. He decides to create a romantic film blended with action, a heroine trapped in a tower, waiting for the hero to fly in and rescue her. Junior has just finished gathering props when Chet calls him away on an errand. Fred then explains the plan to Shaggy. All he has to do is pilot a plane to the tower and save Drilla. It sounds simple, but to Shaggy it feels like a nightmare. Fortunately, he is only acting. The dangerous stunts are handled by his stuntman, who is Scooby-Doo. The moment Scooby-Doo starts the plane, a zombie suddenly appears in front of him, which forces him to swerve. He throws everything he can at it, yet the creature stubbornly clings to the tail of the plane. Meanwhile, Fred is thrilled by how incredible the footage looks. But just as the zombie chaos unfolds, the Headless Horseman joins in. Scooby-Doo turns back to help, never expecting the Headless Horseman to leap cleanly over the plane. Scooby-Doo finally manages to lift the plane into the air. It is his first time flying, so he is a bit clumsy, crashing into several model buildings before somehow landing safely. The zombie returns once more, but just as it prepares to attack, it suddenly notices something and retreats. When Mystery Inc. examines the spot, They realize the camera has been destroyed. Fred is furious and swears he will catch the zombie no matter what. The next morning at Fink's office, Chet reluctantly signs a contract to sell Brickton Studios in exchange for a song. Junior storms out in anger. Right after that, Velma points out something important. The Headless Horseman and the zombie show up at the same time. That alone proves they cannot be the same ghost. She suggests building a trap and Fred agrees without hesitation. The team heads to Grimsley Manor and spends the entire day preparing. Everything is in place by the time night arrives. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy once again take on the risky job of acting as bait. Drawing both monsters toward the manor, Velma goes after the Headless Horseman, while Scooby-Doo and Shaggy focus on the zombie. Scooby-Doo even throws Shaggy's wig at the zombie, but it refuses to give up the chase. At the same time, the Headless Horseman follows Velma into a room. He thinks she has stopped to film, but he fails to notice the solid wall in front of him. He crashes straight into it, drops into the hidden trap, and Velma quickly seals it shut. Outside, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy try to pull the zombie away from the house. However, it suddenly notices Drella and runs after her instead. Drella panics and falls. The zombie freezes and thinks that it has harmed her. Just then, Daphne appears behind it, dressed exactly like Drella. She frightens the zombie so badly that it stumbles and falls. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy waste no time throwing a net over it. The following morning, Mystery Inc. gathers everyone and reveals the truth. Chet nervously says he remembers 3 possible culprits, but Velma calmly explains she already has the answer. She states that the Headless Horseman appears right after Fink leaves the studio. In addition, Fink keeps several horse riding trophies in his office. Fink believes he has won because Chet signs the contract. He smiles proudly until the team reminds him about Clause 5. The contract clearly states that any act of fraud cancels the agreement. Instead of owning Brickton Studios, Fink ends up facing jail time. Then comes the bigger surprise. The zombie turns out to be Junior. Velma explains that the strange incidents begin 6 months earlier, which matches the time Junior starts working at the studio. She also notes that he often makes sure the camera focuses on him. His goal is simple, as he wants to create a real horror film. Drella adds that Junior looks strikingly similar to Boris Karnak. His full name confirms it as Boris Karnak Jr. Chet realizes Junior never intends to harm anyone. He tells the police to let him go. Fred then comes up with a new idea. He suggests using all the chaotic footage, the zombie, the mummy, the Headless Horseman, and keeping the funny moments from Scooby-Doo and Shaggy to shape it into a proper horror movie. Soon enough, a new horror film premieres at Brickton Studios. Fans are thrilled to see the studio return to its roots. They grow even more excited when they learn that Boris Karnak's son plays the monster. But the biggest surprise is Fred. Even though this is his first time directing, tickets sell out almost immediately. At the same time, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy stand surrounded by fans asking for autographs. They try to stay calm and act uninterested, but when Scooby Snacks appear, their determination quickly melts away.